Today we'll start with explicit mapping in data management. We'll take one example and see how we can do this explicit mapping. So before taking one example, we must first understand what does it do, what does it mean. So explicit mappings enables you to enter a source value to be matched exactly and replaced with a target value. So you can use an explicit mapping to exactly map the members from source to the target application. For example, you can map account 1 to the account 100 in your target application. Now we'll see the file, how we can do that. So we'll try to load this example. We have 4 columns here. First one is account, second is amount, third is entity, and fourth is product. So we have different source account. These are all my source account. I want to map this source account to this target account, because in our target application, that is Vision Console, we have all these accounts available, and these accounts are there in my source file. So I'll explicitly map these accounts. So for that we have to do the explicit mapping, and we need to map this account to this target 11101. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so from here we cannot define the source and target. For that we need to go to the data exchange in the application and define the source and target. So under application, this is a data exchange. All right, now from here under actions you have the applications. So this is my target, that is EPM local. Vision Console is my application, and I can give a prefix as any, like D I can give it, and I'll click OK. Similarly, I'll register my source application. For that I'll pick data source, type as file, name I can give as g_file. So you can see this is my source, and similarly we have created the target also. Though it was already created, I just told you the procedure how to create it. Now we'll go and create the import format in our application. We can give as like IMF explicit. My source I can pick as file, target as console. This was already being created. We created. So what you created, you can go and search from there, like D file. Similarly, you can even use your file which was already created, and the Vision Console which was already created as target. I can use both. Now I'll start doing the mappings. My target is account, so I have the same as in source. So my account, if we check in our file, My account is in first column, amount is in second column. So simultaneously we'll be doing the mapping. Account is in first, amount is in second column. We don't have data source in our file, so we can choose any number which is used above. So I'll pick one. We have the entity defined in our application, in our file, sorry. So I'll pick, so if I have the entity in my file, that is, it is in column 3, I'll give it as 3. We don't have from currency, we don't have intercompany as well in our file, so I can define 3 for this intercompany dimension. We do not have the movement as well. I'm right now not giving the expression, or so I'll give that in data load mappings. At that point of time I'll define the expression. Product is there in my file, it is in column 4th, so I'll give it as 4. So I have account, amount, entity and product as 1, 2, 3, 4. So my account is 1, amount is 2, entity is 3 and product is 4. Rest all I have used as previously used numbers. After that we'll define the location. Select the import format which you have created. Accordingly it will pick the source and target. So our location is saved now. After that you need to go under workflow tab and start doing the data load mapping. So this is the important part where we need to be very careful. So here if you see, first thing we need to pick the correct location which we have created. My period is June 18, category is actual. It is Jan 18. Now for account, I'll be doing the explicit mapping. Click add and just start copying the source and target accounts from your file. So this is my source account. So this is my source. I need to map it to this target account and save. For that, firstly I need to check in my dimensions whether that account exists in our application or not. Okay, 111010203. It's there. Now we'll go and check for the entity also. Before loading the file, it is C132. Okay, it's there. Now we'll check for the product. It It is P_121. Yes, it is the base member. Okay, so we have checked all the things. Now we can start doing the mapping. Similarly I'll add for other accounts as well, which are there in my file. So this is my source, and this is my target, 102. Okay, so this is my target. Till here, that is, all these 5 accounts were different. Like this, these are my source and I need to map it to these different targets. But for the last one, if we talk about 15110 is my account, and in my target also we have 15110. So here for this I'll be doing the like mapping. That is star to star, means whatever is there in source, it should directly get mapped to the target. Now I'll move to the another dimensions, that is data source. It is system generated, or system defined dimension, that is star to manage data. Target value should be managed data. For entity I'll be doing the star to star mapping, because whatever is there in file I want to map that exactly same in my application. From currency as well, star to star, or here you can define your from currency as your entity currency, because we haven't defined this in our import format. I'm just directly copying here from the dimensions and will paste it. I'll define the intercompany as FCCS no intercompany. Movement is already been defined, that is system defined, that is FCCS movement income. It is getting mapped to FCCS movement net income. Now for multi-gap, it is getting mapped to local gap. Now product is there in my file, so I'll just do it star to star. Okay, so we'll check again for once for all that all the mapping is being done correctly. So account, if we go to the all mappings, so 5 are explicit, 1 is like mapping. All right, for data source it should be managed data. Entity, it should be star to star, that is like mapping. From currency should be entity currency. Intercompany should be no intercompany. Movement is net income. Multi-gap as local gap, and product is star to star. All right, now we'll move to data load rule, and here we'll create the DLR. All right, categories actual, you select the import format that you have created. I'll here paste the file, or the upload the file, you can say. So this is my file, explicit mapping. So our import and validate is successful. Need to wait for some time, as export data to application takes some time. Okay, so all the steps are done, that is import data, transform and stage, that is validation, export data, create drill region and consolidate. You can see here three fishes, that is import, validate and export. So our export is done successful. Now if you check in the workbench, this was my source entity and this is my target entity. So here I have done like mapping. That's why whatever is there in my source, it gets mapped to the entity target. Similarly for account, I have done the explicit mapping for the starting 5 accounts, that is this is the account and target is 11101, 113000 gets mapped to 11102, 114000 gets mapped to 11103, 112352 gets mapped to 11200, and 115230 in source account gets mapped to 12101 target account. And last account, that is 15110, I have done this explicit mapping for this particular account. Now for intercompany, if this is my intercompany, it should map to no intercompany I have defined. Similarly for data source, it should be managed data. For movement, net income. From multi-gap, I have defined it as local gap. For product, we have already defined like mapping. So these are my amount which were there in my file. So in this way, you can do the explicit mapping and like mapping in data management. So that's all for today. In next sections, we'll be seeing the next topic, that is multi-column data load, multi-period data load, and so on. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please contact BISP Solutions. Thank you for listening patiently. Thank you so much.